Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to this Uckfield Business Podcast with me, Ian Noble from Uckfield Chamber of Commerce. And we didn't have any music that time, Gordon. I don't know what was going on. I was half expecting some music to play, but never mind. So welcome to this podcast. We do these every month where we get a local business personality, usually a chamber member, on to have a chat with them about their business and about their career. And very shortly, we'll have someone joining us today. But before we get into that, I just want to talk about a few things that are happening in Uckfield business-wise over the next month or two, and are going to cause issues or are causing issues in the high street. You've got to have been living on a different planet if you hadn't noticed the temporary traffic lights at the top of town due to the repairs to the old Maiden's Head building. And it has caused problems. Caused problems for some of our retailers. We have it on good authority that footfall in Uckfield High Street has fallen in the last couple of months. And indeed, that means that business has fallen for retailers, which is a bad news because we want to support all our independent businesses as much as we can. I want to assure people that things are happening in the background. It might look as if nothing is happening, but Wilton District Council are working hard to negotiate with the owner over the building to get the repairs done so that the carriageway can be reopened, and liaising obviously closely with East Sussex County Council Highways as well. Both the Town Council and the Chamber of Commerce have met with both those organisations recently. We have another meeting planned for mid-June. I'll be going out to Chamber members in writing to give them a more detailed update as to what's happening and how they can help their own business going forward during these tough times in the next week or so as well. So that's that. And the other thing I'd like to mention at the top of the show is that the Chamber are proud sponsors of the Uckfield Community Awards. If you might remember, the Uckfield Community Awards and the Uckfield Business Awards happen in alternate years. And this year in 2025, it's the turn of Uckfield Community Awards. And the Chamber are sponsoring once again the category of Teacher of the Year. So we want you to nominate your favourite teacher. So obviously kids, encourage your kids that are at school, either at Uckfield College or maybe Chadey School or any other primary schools in Uckfield and the villages, to nominate their favourite teacher, because we want to have a wide field to select from to recognise and reward that Teacher of the Year at these awards that are coming up. They're happening on the 26th of September, and nominations close on Friday the 27th of June. Okay, so that's all I want to say about that at the top of the show. And so let's get our guest up to join us then, Gordon, if we can. Here's Maria Mann, a business entrepreneur, it says there. Maria, good afternoon. How are you?
Hello, yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Excellent. And we did work on your screen to get it landscape before the show in the pre-show, and it didn't work. So you're there perfectly in portrait for us, anyone watching on YouTube. If you're listening on the podcast, you'll wonder what we're talking about if it's just listen only later on. Anyway, Maria, you're very welcome. Are you well at the moment? Keeping well?
Yeah, really well, thank you. Yeah.
Jolly good, jolly good. Now, you're a local person. You've been brought up in this area. You were telling me earlier that you were brought up in Newark. You went to Chadey School, and so you've lived all your life in this part of East Sussex. And you've got your business here. You've opened a business some time ago. You'll tell us about that in a minute. But before we get into that and understanding about your current business and what's happening, lots of exciting things I know is happening in your life at the moment. But what was your first job? What was your career background? How did you start off in life?
So my first ever job, I used to put jam in the donuts at the local bakers in the morning.
Brilliant.
But then obviously my first career was working for Lloyds Private Banking in Hayward Heath, so in finance. So yeah.
Our paths could have crossed. I worked for Lloyds Bank for 37 years.
Yeah, so loads of people.
Yeah. And I know the building you're talking about. Yeah. Remind me what the address was. You can't remember, can you?
I was trying to think that the other day because we drove.
Perry Mount Road, was it?
Perry Mount Road, yeah.
Yeah.
Something house.
Perry Mount Road. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. So how long did you work for Lloyds Private Banking for?
A couple of years, and then I went over to TSB before it merged in Brighton. moved to Brighton for a little while. So I went and worked there for a little while, and then kind of always was in finance after that, and did my AAT accounting and worked in bookkeeping and things like that. So.
Okay. And would you say that that gave you a good business grounding, that you're using some of those skills today?
Yeah, definitely. It was all part of my path, I think. It just wasn't, I prefer the like personal touch of being one to one with a client rather than
Mm,
being in a big office with loads of people and things. So
yeah.
I get much more job satisfaction nowadays. So
Okay. So
yeah.
people know you really in Uckfield for the beauty spot. I think that was your first business.
Yeah.
And you're still there today. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about when that happened and why it happened.
So obviously I wasn't in that background and I wasn't very girly at all. And I just literally on a whim decided that I was going to go and do a hairdressing course in the evenings to learn how to curl my own hair. And when I got down there, they were saying it's really busy, but beauty had spaces. So I put myself on both of them to see if I got on them. And it was literally just to kind of learn how to look after myself a bit more. But I got on the both of them and I just fell in love with the beauty side of it, like skin and facials and stuff, and ended up straight away just going out there offering treatments for nothing, practicing, and then just really rented a room somewhere straight away. Just loved the whole just I loved that personal touch of being with a client and making them feel better and everything, and the appreciation you get from that client when you've done a really nice treatment as well. It made me feel really like special. Sounds
Mm.
really stupid, but it just did. It's job satisfaction, as I said, it just made me feel really good, and I
I think we
loved.
all like to be appreciated, don't we? But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and you do get really appreciated in this job, which is nice.
yeah.
And so I then rented a room somewhere above a nail bar down the road, and it just wasn't like working properly. And I was really lucky that a family member had bought the premises at the beauty spot to rent it out. And at the time, I was only little. I had my kids; they were young. I didn't. There was no way that I could have imagined that I could have taken anywhere on, but he
Mm,
kind of said to me, let's do it. And I got quite a short get out clause. So,
yeah.
usually you have like 3 or 4 years. He gave me like 6 months to a year. If it didn't work out, then I could just walk away basically. And so
Okay.
gave me a bit of an opportunity, and I just took it. And I just remember having no money, didn't know how I was going to do anything, just called in loads of favours of people, and we just went to boot fairs and we just set it up, and
Mm.
it's still there now, nearly 16 years later. So
16 years
yeah,
on, okay. So the short break clause was the thing that got you going. You thought if this doesn't work
yeah,
out in 6 months, I
I
can
kind
I
of
can
had
get out
nothing
of
to lose
this.
really. Yeah, I had nothing to lose really. If I
Yeah,
didn't work, I could just walk away. So um, obviously, I pay my rent, everything. It wasn't all, I still had to do all that, but it was just that he believed in me, and that was someone, it meant a lot that he believed in me and he gave me that chance. And
very
if
good.
he hadn't, that I wouldn't have been where I am now. So
No, brilliant. Okay, so the beauty spot was started about 16 years ago. And how long was it before you started the next business, which we can see in this photograph here, the Marian Carmen Aesthetics, which is 3 doors down, isn't it, from the beauty spot?
yeah, so I had my salon for 10 years,
Mm,
and we were just bursting at the seams. In that time, I was really progressing on my training and my what I did. I was constantly going on courses. I've always been one to like to bring something new to Uckfield. Every time something new came out, I went and trained on it, and I advanced my training to like more aesthetic-y kind of skin specialist things, semi-permanent makeup, laser, and there just wasn't enough room for me in there anymore. And beforehand, I'd always had this used to walk past this when it was a barber's, and it's like three
mm.
shops down. So I used to think, oh, I really want that place. I really want to have it. And my dream years ago, when all that only Where's Essex was big, was to have this as a male, like a beauty parlour where you had a male pamper place. So I would have my girly one up there and my male one
What a
here.
great idea. There isn't one like
Yeah.
this in Oakville. That's what I've
Um,
been missing all my life.
Yeah, well, it is, isn't it? And like, have it a bit more like manly, because we do have lots of men come in, but it is a bit girly for them in there. Which
Yeah.
some men like, that's fine, we love that. But you know, a lot of men find it a bit intimidating. So that was my little thing to start with. But as I got bigger, doing more and more treatments, more kind of advanced treatments, more clinical stuff, I just wanted my own space. And it just, what we were doing was, everything's got to be obviously sterile, and it is up there, but it's got to be extra sterile for the stuff I do. So it was taking us ages to kind of swap the rooms around for me to be in it, and someone else to do a massage, and this, having to put everything away. And so
Right.
like when this came up, I went for it, and obviously it was just kind of as COVID was hitting. So
Okay. So in a word or two, a sentence or two, what does the aesthetics business do for somebody?
So it's more advanced treatment. So I do advanced skin stuff, a lot of needlework, so injectables, laser treatments.
Right.
Obviously, it'd be semi-permanent makeup, which comes under a thing, but it's more like your anti-wrinkle treatments, your dermal filler, like your more advanced treatments
Okay.
than just your normal beauty facial. So
So your client's slightly older age group demographic, is it, for that particular business?
sorry, you went off then.
I
Sorry.
was going to say, is your client demographic slightly older then in the aesthetics
No, no,
business?
no, no. It can
No.
be any
Okay.
type. It's in, aesthetics can be used for anti-aging treatments, but can also be, a lot of young girls like it to change the way they look slightly.
Right. Okay.
Everything I do is kind of quite natural. You know, there are people that could go over the top with
Yeah.
it, but I like to stick to natural enhancements that, you know, people will go, oh, you look better, but or not, what have you had done? So
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
the
You don't
same
want
with
that
my,
comment, do you? You
yeah.
really don't want that comment. No. Very good. And
No.
so that was that. When did that happen? Just the timeline again. I like
So
timelines.
it
So
all kind of started before COVID, and then
yeah.
obviously COVID came, and then I pulled out in my head, and then I was just like, I'm just going to go for it in COVID, and
Mm,
so around that time
okay.
yeah,
Okay. And then at one point you had a third unit as well, which we now
yeah,
know as the Pamper Lounge for the
yeah,
lovely Genevieve. She's in there
yeah.
with her Pamper Lounge. But that was yours originally, wasn't it? So tell us about that bit as well.
So I'd obviously just taken on this. We come back from COVID. It was a bit of a stressful time because obviously in COVID, our business got shut down so many times that it was almost like restarting from scratch when we went back. I had more members of staff than I needed, but I didn't want to get rid of anyone. Like our client base beforehand had been booked up like 3, 4, 5 weeks in advance at the least, and now we were like having days where we had 1 or 2 clients in. It was literally like starting again when we went
Right.
back.
Yeah.
And I'd obviously taken on this place, which I was actually really, really busy when I came back from COVID, like really busy, which was great because obviously it helped with everything. But then I got this place came up for sale because they were for rent, and I got told that there was going to be like a nail bar going there or something.
Mm.
And nothing against, I'm not, I love other people. I'm not
You
competitive. I
thought, I'm not
like
having
to,
that on my doorstep. That's what you really
well,
thought.
it just meant it was just a bit of a kick. So basically, in between us, it just would have been a bit much. Like, I'm not, I don't mind other business. I work with
Got it.
everyone in my industry, but it just was a bit too much at that time. And I was just like, I've got to take it. I've got to do something with it.
Yeah.
I can't have a nail bar next to a nail bar that I'm trying to rebuild up. It was just something that I couldn't have at the time. So originally I thought about doing like a health food shop with like smoothies and things like that, and then I thought I've got to retrain then as a nutritionist, and it's not really my thing. I've just finished my level 7 aesthetics qualifications and things
Yeah.
like that. I just thought it's just a bit much for me with everything else going on. So we were always known for doing princess parties. That was my thing before I even had my shops. I went around people's houses and I did them. It was like a
Mm.
massive thing to us, and I thought I'm going to elaborate this. So I do like to entertain, and I do like to put on a party. So I just built my little dream next door,
Yeah. I
and
get
it
you.
was like, yeah, it was like all in one, like pramper party with a bar, with cocktails, with food. It was just a place where people could go and make memories,
Yeah.
basically. So,
Brilliant.
and that's what I kind of put together really in there. And I did it all myself. I was in there at like 2 o'clock in the morning decorating, and it was just my vision really. So yeah, I put it all together, and I was really proud of what I achieved there because it was so niche at the time. So
Yeah, well, it still is niche to some extent.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah,
it is. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, very good. So, at one point, you owned 3 of the 4 properties in that block. That's between what the Cornerstone Church and Mill Drove. Is that right? In Uckfield, yeah.
yeah. And if I had
And
a pound for everyone that said, "Are you going to buy the Indian?"
I really did. It always made me think that you were playing a real life game of Monopoly here. You needed to own
Yeah,
the whole street. But yeah, so you never did venture into buying the Uckfield Tandoori. That is still owned by the good people that own it. And
yeah,
it produces a very nice Indian, so I'm told.
yeah,
So anyway, you've then sold the Pamper Lounge to Genevieve, which we've talked about, and that's still going, by the way. So you
yeah,
can hire that place out for
yeah.
parties,
Really good. Yeah.
yeah, and that's great. It's and
Yeah,
hope,
it
and
really complements what we do as well. Like,
yeah,
so we don't do it. If someone comes to us for like a hen party, or they come in and they want like wedding prep and stuff, we'll just send them there because it's
yeah,
just, that's the space for it. We didn't really have the space for it all before.
no,
So
sure.
yeah,
Now, in addition to all of this that we've spoken about, and we've covered an awful lot of ground already, Maria, but you're
yeah,
also a business coach, aren't you? So
yeah.
how did that come about?
So I'm going to go back to my other business, my training academy, because that
Yeah.
links me onto my mentorship. So I have always wanted to be a teacher, but I am quite dyslexic, and I am quite, I really struggle with literacy and things like that. So it always put a stop to me. And back in the day, there wasn't anything like dyslexia and things like that. So I just thought, I can't do it. I can't do all this.
Mm,
And over the years, I've had nearly 15 apprentices go through the beauty spot, and I've enjoyed watching them grow. Like I like finding the best out of them, and making them into the beauticians they are. I love it. It's one of my favorite things, and I've always
mm.
wanted to train. And in lockdown, I spent a lot of time doing all my VTCT training alongside lots of other training. I couldn't.
VCTC, can you unpack that for us? What does
So
that sound?
PTBT is a government regulated qualification in teaching. So
Right.
you get your assessing, your IQA, which is in internal quality assessor,
Okay.
and and up to level 5, which I've just completed my level 5, which is very, very high training for my industry, basically for teaching and stuff. So I'd
Yeah.
set all that up, I'd set all my courses up, I'd set all my academy up just in case I could never go back to work again, because I just didn't know what was going to happen.
Mm,
I'm trying to set myself up so that I know it sounds silly now thinking about it, but I didn't know whether I was ever going to be able to do beauty again or aesthetics or anything. So I set all that up, I did all my training, and then I held back on that because when I got back, it was literally fight for my girls to keep their jobs, my
mm,
salons, and everything like that. It was just real. It was a real struggle, and so I put all that on back burner. And then I obviously took on the pattern plans. That took a lot of my time. So then I put all that on back burner. Then last year, I decided that now was the time that I was going to launch my training academy properly. I'd done bits and pieces, but I was going to do it
mm.
properly, and I had everything set up, ready to go, and I put a lot of time into it, and I launched it, and it became bigger than I could. Well, I just straight away went in. I said, I'm dyslexic, I'm this and that, and they were like, oh yeah, me too, and I just felt confident, and I felt that's where I wanted to
Where
be.
did you launch this from, Maria? Where was this
So
happening?
originally, I work alongside 2 MVQ centres that do the training, hair and beauty training, and one's in Ashford and one's in Uckfield, Partners for Training, if you know them. And then, so I launched it over in Ashford to start with because I'd
Right.
done some training with her, and she was really interested in me, starting doing more advanced treatments because she had just did beauty
Mm-hmm.
and hairdressing. So I launched it there, and then all of them, then they booked on another course, and they were, oh, you're fabulous, got really nice feedback, and I just really enjoyed it. And then it's just been amazing since then. But what I was finding was, because I'm the person I am, and I've done training where they just cut you off afterwards, I wanted to help them afterwards as well. So I give like 2 months support for the course just in case they've forgotten something, and it's really important to me to build a relationship with that person and make sure that they succeed, because I want to watch them succeed. That's all part of my
Mm,
love for doing it. So what I do is I go on that. But what I was finding was a lot of people didn't know actually even how to set up a business.
right.
So that was kind of not in a horrible, not in a horrible way, but that's not what they originally paid me to help them with. So I couldn't really spend hours and hours helping them do all that. So what I did together, and I want to help as much as possible, but I was getting text messages from everyone separately, and it was getting a lot. So what I did was I set up a mentoring, like a portal. So everyone goes on my mentoring portal, gets basically 6 months. It's a 6-month course from how to set up your business, but it's different because it's for anybody that is absolutely has no idea how to set up a business.
But just for the beauty sector, just for the sector.
No, for all sectors. Yeah,
Okay.
it could be like a lady that I went to that. What was that business thing we went to a little while ago? Christmas.
Up in the Highlands, yeah.
No, it was a expedition that up at the National.
Oh, well, this is one of Gary's expos, yes? Business
Some
expo.
of those people are just so talented. Some of the things that they make and they create, but they just don't understand how to start their business and get their name out there. And this is for people like them. So it is a dummy run, a 6-month course, like with day-to-day little tasks with looking at other companies, seeing how they've put themselves out there, how to make your business attractive, how to stand out alongside other businesses, whether to be a sole trader or a limited company, whether to get an accountant or a bookkeeper, how to just prepare. There's a whole month of how to just save money from your accountants just by doing a few little things.
So okay, so I'm going to stop you, pause for breath for a moment. All right. How do people get in touch with you if they're interested in this service? Like getting your business off the ground in the first 6 months. Is there a website address that people can jump on?
Yeah, so I've got a link which takes you straight through to the actual thing, and it'll tell you how much it is and what you get for your money and things like that. I have got a link, but obviously if anyone wanted to message me, I can just send them the link. I'm in the meanwhile, because obviously I've got quite a few businesses, so it is it's hard for me to have individual websites, individual Facebooks, individual for everything. So until something gets big enough, I don't actually get an individual one because it's a lot for me and I miss stuff. And so at the moment I run my main stuff through Maria Carmen, and then I've got ones on the side that I kind of collaborate it with. But
so maybe if there's any local Uckfield people, then just pop into Maria Carmen and see you in there, and from there. Okay. Now tell us, not only have you got your own businesses in Uckfield and you've done business coaching, but you've also created, you're also into product creation, and you've created beauty products yourself. Tell us about that and your plans, I understand, to launch nationally with some of these products, which is really exciting.
They are already launched nationally. They are, so basically just before COVID, I kind of created some masks just for use in my salon, and I called it TBS skincare because that was the beauty spot. It was just, I was never ever going to be making it big, but it was just something. So I wanted to brand my salon. So like some brands have certain machines and facials, and what I wanted to do was bring that to my salon, so it was a little bit different to others. So we would have our TBS facials, and that's what I wanted to do, like all the different types of facials. I wanted to create it into a TBS, our own brand, and I wanted to basically, the products I've always used before are so expensive, and you'd get someone that came in and they would be bought a facial for their birthday or whatever, and then they go, I love that cream, and they'd be like 150 quid, and they'd be like, oh no, I can't afford that. And that would make me really sad, because I just think, you've had a lovely facial now. So I managed to cut out the middleman and create some products for the salon at the time that I could then charge less for, but they still had the beneficial ingredients, and they still work really, really well on the skin. And because of the ingredients that were in them were quite similar to kind of some more expensive ranges, but they were quick, quirky, and forever, because that's another thing that I haven't got time for that. I haven't done that. So I made it all really quick and easy. You can use it in the shower, you can do stuff with it. So that was my main thing. And then in lockdown, a couple of my products that I made started selling really well, and I ended up driving around and selling them. And then with that money, I was then getting another product in and another product in, and before I knew it I had my own range, which then
Mm,
I decided that I was going to make a catalogue, and I was going to do like an Avon thing, and I had a few people going out and selling it. Then it got into a couple of salons, and I was like, oh yeah, people are really liking it, and I was getting really, really good feedback, really amazing feedback. And so I then started branching out and trying to get it into certain places. And eventually, after about a year and a half of begging and doing what, sending them and whatever, I actually got online at Superdrug, which is the start of it.
right.
And I've been on there nearly 3 years now, coming up to 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, 3 years,
So if
yeah.
I, so Maria, if I went on a super drug website
Yeah.
and wanted to buy some facial cream
Mm-hmm.
for my wife,
Yeah.
then how would I know it was yours? Does it say TBS on it? Or
So
how's it branded?
yeah, it's just like going on and buying a L'Oreal or Garnier or something like that. You type in TBS skincare and all my products will come up on there.
Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah, so that's been going for 3 years,
Okay.
and then
Are you now in
eventually,
their stores as well, in Superdrug stores?
not yet, no.
Oh, okay.
That's my next stage. So that's a little bit harder to get in the stores, but online, I mean, it's a start. I hadn't had years and years of having it out there before I got in there, so I was just, really, really lucky with that. And then I managed to get it online at Tesco's as well. So
Right. Okay.
yeah, so that was really good.
Very good.
Yeah, so then I basically have been the only up and coming skincare brand to be invited up 4 times to head office to showcase my work, and everything's going in the right direction. I just need to go more viral online, which is obviously not nice to put yourself out there like that, but they need my brand to be well known before they can put it in the shops, and then they buy
Okay.
it and they put it in there. So
And how have you responded to that then? What are you doing to address that yourself?
trying every way possible, really, just building my brand as a person, sending it out to influencers. I obviously went up the other day, which when you called me, I was doing a pitch to Simon Squibb and Richard Branson
Okay.
for help. I Yeah, you just got to build yourself up as a brand, which, as much as it cringes me, is the only way you can build your business up well, it's not the only way, but in my
Mm.
industry it's the best way to build your business up. So doing all that at the moment, I also have to do some stupid things on TikTok and hope that works, but I'm just trying everything at the moment.
Have you? I mean, we talked about social media in the pre-show
Yeah.
meeting before we came on air, and
Mm.
you're not wrong. It's such a minefield now, isn't it? Social media for people that
Yeah.
are slightly older, like
Yeah.
myself, and I'm going to put you in that category as well, Maria. But
No, I am.
yeah, but look, so have you got somebody on side then in your business, someone you can outsource to help you with this kind of stuff?
So I have certain people that can help me with things. Yeah, I have for different things. I have a lot of people. Most of the people that help me are my friends and family, because
Right.
they kind of understand me and know what I want and how I work. I find that works easier. For each business, I have like somebody that helps me with certain things, and it just works really well like that. So hopefully, if any of them get bigger, then I'll have full-time help and things like that. But a lot of the businesses that I've started up have needed a lot of money put into it. So a lot of the time it
Mm.
just goes back in, and obviously I'm working day to day in the
You know,
clinic and everything
at
like
the end
that.
of the day, Maria, with social media, ultimately, you probably know this already. You get what you pay for, in terms
Yeah,
of support and outsource. And
yeah,
lots of people are now doing this for a living because they're really good at it.
yeah.
And the best people are getting more traction. So if what you're trying to do is to get your brand viral, as you've called it, then maybe that's the route for you.
I have done that loads of times. Yeah, I've got
Yeah,
someone that's in social media that does stuff for me, but
very good.
I can't. The thing is that if you go to a big company, these people, they just work with one business and one social media point. So you can't say to someone, oh, can you just come on and do all of my stuff? It's got to be one thing at a time. And that's why with all the businesses, I have to just put it as I can and put what I can into each business. So my thing is building my brand. And once my brand is built properly, then everything else kind of comes with it. So unfortunately. So
listen, Maria, you've been hugely successful. You know, you're well known in Uckfield. You've got the 2 stores now. You've created products. You're in Superdrug now, Tesco as well. You've done business coaching. You've got people that are asking you to support them with their fledgling businesses, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
What keeps you? We didn't rehearse this question, by the way, and we haven't rehearsed this one. What keeps you awake at night?
Just making sure that what I'm doing is, I don't know really what keeps me awake at night. I just want to help people, and I just want to make sure that I make people's lives. But I just want to make sure that everyone that's around me is the best person that they can be and the best version of themselves. And so everything I do, I try and do to help everyone, not just me, around me. And you know, I don't want to fail with any of it. So,
well, look, we're really grateful to you for coming on today. Is there anything that we haven't spoken about that you want to mention and you want to cover off this afternoon?
I don't think so.
We've covered everything, have we? That's good. Well, it's great that you're a member of the Chamber of Commerce as well, locally here in Uckfield. We value that. Do get engaged. We spoke again about the other events we've got coming up. And I'm going to go through this now. So stay with us if you wish, just for this last bit of the podcast. And this will just take a few minutes to go through these. So, Gordon, producer guy, do we have some other slides? Here we go. So every month, the Chamber has a virtual networking meeting. And next Wednesday, on the 4th of June, Chris Dowling, who is also a business mentor, who's our president at the moment, he's going to be speaking on this online event. Everyone on the call has an opportunity of talking about their business for a minute or two as well. This is a bit of a legacy of the pandemic. We've talked about the pandemic already today. But this was a bit of a legacy of the pandemic, and we're just keeping these going for now. And all Chamber members get sent a link to this meeting at least 2 days before it. So that'll be next Monday when that goes out via email. If any non-member wants to come along, then they can ask me for that link. And then in the alternate months to our business members meetings, we have a networking breakfast. These are becoming increasingly popular. And we're back at a favourite venue on the 20th of June when we visit the Highlands Inn. And another member of the Chamber, UK Growth Coach. There's a theme here. UK Growth Coach will be speaking about growing your business at this event. So really worthwhile, and a great breakfast at the Highlands Inn as well. They really do look after us when we go there. Moving on, we've got another pod at the end of next month. This will be before we sort of stop these for the summer. Next month, I'm talking to our very own Gary King about his business expo that he's got coming up in July, and also a more in-depth, deep dive look into the community awards as well, which I've already touched on at the top of the show. And then later in July, or earlier in July, we're at the Pamper Lounge, Maria. You're going to come to this one? A nice little lunch next door to your business.
Too far away for me.
It's too far away. We did the first of these last month at Relish, and we had 18 businesses there. Very informal, most informal networking you can have. All we're interested to do is chatting and enjoying the food that's put in front of us. So that'll be up on our website very soon. It's not quite there yet, but it will be, and open for booking very soon as well. And then finally, the piece de resistance when it comes to our meetings. This one is on Thursday, the 17th of July at Horsted Place Hotel, a members meeting. This one is for members only. And Maria, I don't think you've been to this venue before, you were telling me. So make sure you get yourself booked in for this one. It'll be a really enjoyable meeting. And in the summer, although in that picture, if you're on listening, you don't know what I'm talking about. They've got those double doors open. That's their garden room. We're meeting there. And then you spill out onto the lawn, a nice summer's evening with a glass of something cold. You can't ask for much more than that. Good. And then I think that's it, Gordon, isn't it? That's the end of our slide deck. My thanks to Gordon Manklow, our producer guy, for producing the show so well. Thanks to Maria. Maria, don't rush off. We'll just have a brief chat off air afterwards. And
thanks for having me.
You're very, very welcome. Thanks for joining us. And guys, we'll see you again next time. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.